Good morning. Happy Friday to you. Not a special day, not a St. Patrick's Day and not a something else day, but whatever. Good morning to everybody. Marjorie, June, Julie, Jane, another Jane, Nicola, Teresa. Glad you're on a few days off. Hi, Fiona. Another Jane, Anita, Ethel, Jo, Anne, another Anne. So thank you very much for joining me again. And as promised, we've got a little bit of an Easter theme going on. So I know that not very many people tend to give Easter cards. It's not like a Christmas one, is it, where lots of people make the Christmas cards forevermore and send them. But I think maybe particularly this Easter, again, when we're not going to be together very much, a nice little Easter card wouldn't go amiss. And so I've got a very pretty Easter egg from Nellie Snellen to show you, and a little happy Easter, and a fancy fold, because it's Friday and we do fancy folds on Friday. So today is a fancy fold day, and I'm going to call it a stable door fold because I thought of that name as I was putting it together today. So I'm going to show you from scratch to show you how I like to do the ideas and see how we came up with it and see what you think, see if you like it. So the colour choices that I've gone with today are sort of spring-like colours-ish, not showing totally very well, I don't know, because this one is more of a sort of, it's called emerald, so it's more of a greeny blue colour. This one is sky blue. And then I've got some cards from the Aqua Perfect Partners, Aqua and Cream, I think it's called. I had to think about that. Just a couple of different papers there, and a bit of white cards, and a 7x7 card blank. So that's the card that we're going to actually do today. So let's make the card first. Because all the rest of these bits are embellishments, so I'm just going to take them out of the way for the moment and just start off with our card blank. So this has to be one of the easiest fancy folds ever. We just need to take a couple of measurements, and when I say take a couple of measurements, it's always because when you get a card and you buy it as a 7x7, for example, because although I work in centimetres, cards are sold in inches, aren't they? So it says it's 7x7, but it isn't. It's more like 6 3/4. So it just kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to do it in the centimetres like I always do, but just need to check. Now that is 17 centimetres, actually 17.1, but we'll say 17, and obviously 17 round the other way. So I'm going to get my cutter into gear, and we need to measure where half of our card is. So where are we going to cut it? We're going to cut our main card. So I'm going to open up my card. So this is the front of the card. I'm going to take it long ways round, and I'm going to measure. Hold on. No, we'll have to do it with a ruler because I did it on my great big guillotine, and that's not long enough for here, is it? So okay, we'll do it on here and then we'll cut it out. Hold on. So we need to just measure along halfway. So half of 17 is 8.5, or it was when I last looked anyway. And so I'm just going to put a mark. Ought to be a pencil mark, should it not? Oh, who's pinched the pencil? Oh, by the way, look what I found. I found my pokey tool. I found my pokey tool because I lost 2 little dies. I took them off the packet and they flicked off, and subsequently I have now lost 2 dies but gained a pokey tool. So that's pretty good going, isn't it? So I really need a pencil. Hold on, I'm going to have to get a pencil. It had eluded me, the pencil. Okay, so halfway is 8.5. So I'm going to make a little bit of a mark there, and I'm just going to go along a bit so that I know that it's going to be straight. 8.5, and then at the top 8.5. Okay, so then I'm going to cut. Take this. I wonder if this would be any longer. No. I'm going to cut down from the top of my card down to my first point there, and I can check that that is at my first point there with not that. I like this one. I can see where my first point is. Right, so I'm going to put my middle bit right on the cutting line there. I'm going to take my point of my cutter to 8.5, so I know that's correct, and I'm going to cut up there. Not having a good day, am I? What have I done to that? Don't know. That's not a very good cut. Plan B. Can't be doing with that. Plan B. Let's go for that again. So 8.5. That's better. That was odd, wasn't it? So I've cut halfway, and now I'm going to cut halfway across here. And so I need to just draw my lines back in again. So halfway here. 8.5. And halfway here is also 8.5. So I should put a line across there. Join all those up. And that's where I'm going to be cutting. And because I haven't got my big guillotine in here, I shall just do that with a pair of scissors, and then that will be easier for us. So it's basically cutting my front into a panel there. Okay, I'm going to just take off my, rub off my measurements there, because we don't want that showing anymore, do we? Don't want those bits. So that's it, finished. That's my gate, my stable door fold. But we need to do lots of decoration, and let me show you how it's explained. So I need to cover in my back piece first. So that's going to be covered, and this piece is going to be covered, and so is this piece going to be covered. So I've chosen the colours, as I said, and different pieces of patterned paper and everything. So I'm going to go with my very dark colour as my layer, my first layer, and then I'm going to choose 2 papers for decoration. I'm going to choose my bigger pattern, which is my hearts, and that's going to go at the back. And then I'm going to choose my smaller one that's going to go on the 2 front panels, but still with this lovely emerald colour. So our first panel at the back, we're going to measure that one at 16.5, I think, or shall we go for 16? Let's go 16. So 16 by 16 for our first one. I can get away with doing it on this, which would be even better. I just need them to do a big guillotine. I need a big guillotine in my life. So 16 is just about on there. 16 by 16. So that's one panel. And then from here, I'm going to take that down a little bit, and that's going to go to 15.5 by 15.5. So that's my back 2 panels done. Like so. And then I need to measure, just check this. So this will be 16 by 8. So let's do that one. 8 by 16. And then, of course, I need another one for that as well, don't I? So let's grab another piece of card. Oh, Can't get it out of the packet. Oh, that's not quite the same colour. Oh, I quite like that. I'm going to go for that one as well. Slightly different shading. So, and then by 16. So yeah, I've got a slightly different shading, and I'm quite liking that. So then I'm going to cut myself a couple of these panels. So if we did that by 8, these have got to be by 15.5 and 7.5. So we've got all of our panels. And don't forget, if you're putting patterned paper on, you do need to just make sure that if it's got a pattern, so say for example the hearts have got a definite pattern and a definite direction that they need to be, you can't put them on some that way and some that way. You just need to make sure that you're cutting your panels so that they are all in the same direction. Okay, now all these little bits, I'm going to keep these because I want to cut out some little flowers from them for just a minute. But I can actually pop my card together so that you can see where we're going with it. So our panels are going in like this. So this is inside the card, inside the front of the card. So we pop them in there. Oh. So what's Julie saying? What make of ink does everyone use? All sorts. Yeah, I prefer now the VersaFine Clair to get a crisp for sentiments, to be honest. I think that's got a very good sort of finish. Depends what you're going to do with it as well. Heather, your glue glaze, you need to actually put it in hot water for about 5 minutes. And I've yet to find one that doesn't do the trick for. It's just that a little bit of seepage as they were made has gone through, but that's what I find. So give that a go. It's not just running it under the warm water. It's actually putting it into a bowl of water like that. And that's what I find does the trick. Give it a go, Joe, or Heather, maybe. So that's your background. Now I'm going to turn this piece over and we're going to go for this one. So this is your next panel. And I haven't cut that very well, have I? No, don't like that. Reject, reject. Have I cut that one any better? No, it's not good enough. Not good enough. Can't be doing. Can't be doing. Bring in this one again. So let's just measure that again. We need 16 by 7.5. So let's do a 16. I'm just going to measure it to make sure that I've got the right measurement there. Yeah, 16 should be good. 16. Too fussy, I know. Was it by 7.5 or was it by 8? Will you please all keep up? It was by 8. Oh dear, it was supposed to be a good day today and it's just gone a bit awry. I expect that's because the staff are complaining. Got staff problems today. The staff have decided to work on an engine, and so he's working in the garden on an engine. Still not right, is it? Hey, we'll have to go with that. I don't like the fact we can't go with that. can't, but we're going to have to because we haven't got another piece of card. Don't like that. Don't like that there's the measurements wrong. I will do this one later for you with correct measurements. If in doubt, measure it properly, Maxine, at all times. So this little bit, that one looks all right. That's going to go into there like that. And we're going to have these on. Yeah, so he's got an engine, and he decided to, about 5 minutes before I was going to come on, he decided to check it out, see how it was working. The noise. So subsequently, he didn't do that anymore. He was moaned at. Right. So let's pop those into position there. So I would have made that. That should have been a bit bigger there, but you can see where we're going. So roughly in the middle, we could measure this, but because we've got hearts either side, we can get a good gauge as to whether we're on the right size there. And I'm just going to put this down to the bottom. So I'm just sticking this onto this front panel. So in order to do that, I'm only going to put glue on just to be on the safe side, not completely halfway, because I don't want any of it to stick onto the back. So I've just got it onto that bottom section. And I'm going to make sure that the top of the card is correct, and so is the bottom of this one. Okay, just as far as I can, get that into the center. Just press that down there. So hopefully now, when I lift it up, you'll be able to see what we're talking about as being our stable door. So our stable door fold, yeah? So it will stand nicely because you've got a nice lot of weight at the front. I know you can't see it standing properly there, but it stands quite nicely, which I think is quite good. You could do it with any size card. A square one gives you the better measurements because you simply cut the front panel in half, and therefore then when you take that panel off, as it's a square, it will fit so that you've got a definite upright because it's all exactly the same size. So I think that looks really pretty, and quite an adaptable card. It doesn't matter whether you've got a 6x6 card, an 8x8, a 4x4, a 5x5, whatever. They can all be done in that same sort of manner, which I think is rather nice. So let's do a little bit of decoration to that one now. Pop that to one side. So I've got some of this light blue card, my lovely die shape. So I'm going to take the outer pieces. We've got two dies here. We've got this lovely little rabbit and some greenery and whatever. And we've also got a lovely outside for the egg there. So I'm just going to take that into position. So I'm going to do the blue, the outer piece, just the outer piece in blue, and see what we think of that. Just put that on. It's a nice bright blue. And there we go. That's cut it out beautifully. It's got a nice, I mean, you could use an oval, obviously. You could use an oval for this type of thing. But because we are Easter egging, and that really is an Easter egg shape, don't you think? I like that. So now we will cut a piece for, take a piece of white this time. Oops. For our egg itself. And just take that into position. Like that. Just run that through. And then you will see, which you can't see very well until this one's cut, you'll see how pretty, well, I think how pretty this little die is. So that's your waist. Obviously we don't need that. here is your lovely little bunny. Isn't that cute? I think that's cute. And that goes onto there like that. So, bringing in our card again. Our card is, our Easter egg is going to go onto here like that. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down, obviously, and then I want to put a few little flowers on and a little sentiment. Okay, so obviously you could do this in any way you like. I mean, I think that because it's spring-like, you don't really want your black or your dark colour. I did try it in darker colours. I think they all look quite nice, but just a little something for Easter. And as a friend of mine said, who I hope is watching today, you could also make this into actually a card itself. And I'll show you very quickly how to do that if we have enough time in just a minute. So there's my little Easter egg. Now let's pop him on here. So I'm going to actually stick him down. I say him. I have no idea if it's a him or not. So let's just put a little bit of glue on there. I'm not going to put glue totally on the tree and everything, because you know what I'm like. I don't like to stick it all down. I just like to have some of it floating a bit. Whoops. So just line him up and stick down the bits that are sticking down so that we have got our egg. And I'm going to pop him onto a couple of foam pads, because I think that that would look nice with a couple of foam pads there. So then I'm going to take my sentiment, and I've got one from Woodware, so I think I'm going to go for the Happy Easter down the bottom there. And because I've gone with the blue colours, use this bit. Whoops. Because I've gone with the blue colours, I'm going to stamp him in blue as well. So I'll just pop that into position, pick it up, and then I will use my VersaFine Claire, which has disappeared. Who's been sitting at my desk, I say? Okay. We won't find you, VersaFine Claire. We will do this one instead. Let's give this one a go. This is also a dye-based one. So Happy Easter. We'll go for that. And that little one's going to go down the bottom there. And then I'm just going to cut a few flowers. So as I said, I'm just going to keep some of the oddments of both the papers. Let's bring this in. And the card that I used. And I'm going to sort of randomly cut this. So I'm going to put them together. I think we'll go with those like that. So remember that we used the random colours and bits and pieces before, didn't we? So I'm going to pop my small flowers die over the top of that. Now I know that some of the flowers are therefore going to be only cut half in half. If I push that into roughly the right place, it will give me a variety of flowers then. And they cut out so many at a time, it really doesn't matter that one or two would be wasted. So just, whoops, take those out. So you can see that I've now got a variety of different shapes and colours, but because I've used it from the scraps that I have cut out my main thing from, I know that it's all going to look okay because it's all the same sort of colours that we have been using. So that would look quite nice. If I start introducing more colours, it just is not pleasing to me. But that's down to the individual. Yeah, I think I cut out. Oh no, there's one little one that didn't come out, so let's pop that in there. So I'm going to pop a bit of foam onto the back of that. I don't want it to sit up too much, so I'm just going to put a 2mm one onto there. And I'm going to use a piece of foam like that this time, so that it gives me a more of a solid backing. I'll just cut a piece out like that to go on the back. Whoops. And I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on there as well, just to make sure that it stays stuck. And pop my Easter egg in the centre there. And then my little flowers. Now I've also already pre-cut some greenery, and I've done that from the small leaves. So you see some things that was organised. Oh, and I've used a very pale green here because I didn't want to go too mad with it all. So just, oh, I shouldn't flick out all the bits onto there really, should I? That's it. So going to arrange my little flowers down the bottom here. So just a couple of bits there, a couple of bits there, so like that. So they've got a nice little array of flowers. And I shall pop a little bit of glue into place. It's funny, isn't it, how Easter cards aren't such a big deal like the Christmas cards are. It's probably because they thought of us card crafters, and they thought, well, they've been busy with making cards all year round. We can't encourage them to do so for Easter as well. Do you reckon that's what it is? And some people, I noticed who put a lovely, someone put a lovely Christmas card on. I think it was Sandra. And I thought, oh, that's lovely. It's a lovely Christmas card. But it's just a fraction too early, although I have been thinking Christmas. So let's take some of these little flowers and get a little pointer just to squash them in the middle, give them a bit of dimension. Whoops. And just make ourselves a little bit of a floral bit here. Whoops. And obviously other flowers, you know, look lovely as well. There's just all sorts that you could use just to put some pretty flowers amongst this little arrangement down the bottom here. This would look lovely in all sorts of colours. Spring colours. We like to see a bit of spring, don't we? Spring could happily be sprung right now, eh? So that's my little decoration down the bottom. And then I'm just going to take my Happy Easter. Oops. Save those for a minute. And I'm just going to cut my little Happy Easter out. I'm going to do that with my guillotine. Just make that into a little slither. So no particular size, just trimming it really so that it looks about right. And then my little sentiment can go down the bottom there. So there's obviously, with these cards, there's a lot of room for putting all sorts of embellishments in and everything. It makes a very pretty card. And whoops. There you go. But I thought it would be nice for an Easter card. Yeah. So as you can see, that will now stand. Can you see that that will now stand out right like that? When you, yeah, it looks good like that, doesn't it? But no, it looks like that. But you could do any of your embellishments for the front. So, okay, yes, we've done an Easter card, but you could put a circular thing on there or all sorts, really. It's just a different fold. I will pop some little embellishments and bits and pieces on there to finish that one off. But I quickly wanted to show you how to make another little card there. So let me just pop that to one side just to show you how you could indeed make a full card out of it. So I'm going to take a piece of white card. So it's just an ordinary piece of white card. And I'm going to fold that to around about there. That will do. I say round about there, just need to be able to get the egg on there, which is plenty. So I'm going to fold that crease down. Then I'm going to pop my egg so that it is sitting with just a little bit of it over the edge. You see what I mean by that? So just a little bit over the edge. And tape that into position. Whoops, hold on, let's get it round straight, so that's it. So pop that onto there, like that. And then I'm going to run that through the machine. Just make sure I've got my couple of little flowers stuck on there. And we're going to run that through. Like so. Check, and it's all cut out that side as well, which it is. All is well. Then, before I get rid of this piece, take my tape off. I do find that when you're doing cards like this, the tape really sticks, So I also want to cut out a plain piece. So I'm going to take some new tape because I don't want to tear this bit. So this is just a single piece now. Trim that off. I just want to do that one. So we've got a single piece. And then finally, with our little bunny, just for easiness sake, I'm going to take the cards that I've already used. So it's a bit of a different way round of doing it, but take that. And we've cut that one out as well. Oh, someone at the door and I don't know who it is and the staff aren't here. Can you bear with me? Sorry. Sorry. It's time to try me today, isn't it? So let's put this together. Here is my card then. So this is the bit where we've got now a fold that will sit my card upright, but I want the full egg to go on the front. So I'm not going to put glue onto that very edge there because that's no good. We don't need that bit. Oh. So we're going to put it so that it's not just on that edge, but completely over so that we can't see that anymore. And then we can put glue onto our little bunny. like so. Let's put it onto there as well. A little bit onto the tree. Whoops. And there is our little bunny and an Easter card. So if you were giving an Easter card and it's just like a very quick one, there's your card done. So it opens up. You can read that. Obviously, I'd put one of my printed little Happy Easter, I think, onto there, because those little ones that I've got would be a little bit, well, no, I could put that in there. I could just about put that in probably before I, the top one, before I actually stuck that down, probably would have been okay. But it's just that you can make that into its own little card as well. So 2 cards, really, 2 cards, but your stable door card, which is this one, and then a quick one used out of the actual little bunny as well. So lots to show you today. So I'm sorry it was a bit discombobulated, but there you go. I thought I was organised and clearly I was not. What with that and people at the door and oh dear, oh dear. Do you know, you feel as if there's something that you could do with that, isn't it, really? But what? I don't know. I don't know, but I might even think of something that I could do with that. Don't know. So let me think of what I could do with that. So I hope that you've enjoyed today, and I hope that you have liked my new fancy fold. And I will look forward to seeing you again soon. So let me tell you where we are next. So on tomorrow, Saturday, I've got another lovely workshop with some folks from all over the world joining me, which will be lovely. And that's tomorrow afternoon. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all then. And for the rest of you, if you're around, do come and join me on Sunday morning. If you're not able to join me live, don't forget the YouTube is uploaded shortly after I finished live. It's lovely if you can join in because we can see and talk to you then. But if not, do join me at 11, and we've got a lovely technique and a very, very different card. Not Easter. Done Easter now. Done 2 things. That's Easter sorted. Well, main thing is, if anyone's going to be doing Easter and anyone would like to purchase anything that I've shown here today, i.e. this lovely Easter egg, if we don't get it out now, you won't have a chance to do any cards before Easter. So subsequently, that's why I've done Easter, what I would call a little bit early, really, because we've still got another, 3 weeks till Easter? No, 2 and a bit, I think. 2 weeks today, I think, is Good Friday. So, yeah. So, have a great day. Look after yourselves. I hope all those people that are not 100% are feeling 99% today, or at least on the way. And stay safe, and look forward to seeing you whenever it is that you're able to join me next. Take care till then. Thanks a lot. Bye.